So my name is Nadia Abdalla. I am the youngest Chief Administrative Secretary in the Ministry of ICT, Innovation and Youth Affairs. CAS is just a fancier name for Deputy Minister in Kenya. I am in charge of the State Department of Youth Affairs and Innovation, and I'm a young woman who's a state officer in Kenya. There are more than two, but anyway, since you've asked for two, one is the launch of Kenyan Imimi, which is a youthful campaign that I managed to launch 10 months into being appointed as a CAS with His Excellency the President Uhuru Kenyatta through Cabinet Secretary Joe Musheru. And basically it was a campaign. When I joined government, I kind of realized that, or I felt that a lot of young people don't feel like they're Kenyan enough. And I felt the same way as well when I was on the other side. I didn't think a lot of programs were meant for us. They were just meant for a targeted group. And so I wanted to demystify this whole perception. And I knew the best way to do it was through campaign communication. So I created a campaign to reinstill back the patriotism and values in young people. And it has been very successful because we did it with the UNFPA Kenya. And from that, we managed to launch the Kenyan Imimi strategic framework with them. So which means that moving forward, there'll be some guidelines and strategic plans that will enable whether myself or anyone else who comes in to take it on and help young people be part of the development of the country. Number two, it was the Kenya National Youth Policy. This is a policy that is usually designed to help not only national government but county government as well to streamline their youthful programs adjacent to what the national government wants. So this helps create a discipline, this helps create frameworks that are able to guide not only state corporations but also civil agencies and also development partners. So what I was able to do is able to go across the country together with different stakeholders and development partners to really simplify the national youth policy to young people and make them understand that they have to own it and they have to be part of the whole agenda. Yeah. I think the one message was to help the older women or make the older women understand that we are progressive. Younger women want to or are aspiring to be in leadership positions. Younger women want to break the glass ceilings. So it was for the older women to give us space and understand that we are ready to take up those spaces. Number two, I wanted to validify our dreams when it comes to young women, when it comes to youth. A lot of times, most of us who come from spaces or places that are beyond the capital cities, we tend to really shun away from our dreams. We tend to think that if you're not in Nairobi or Mombasa or maybe Kisumu, then you're not able to achieve what you needed to achieve. So from the publication, I wanted to make everyone understand that your dreams are valid. It doesn't matter where you come from, whether it's a marginalized community or not, you still can achieve and be who you want to be. And number three, I just wanted to create an unapologetic mindset. When it comes to women, a lot of times we tend to apologize for what we do, who we are, and how we achieve it. We tend to be very soft, and that's because of how our society has built us. It's made us to always apologize when we are too assertive. It's made us to always ask for permission to do something. So I wanted to really teach young women and women in general that enough about making yourself small. Own whatever space you're in, own whatever power you're in, because you are yourself. Yeah. I'll be lying if I said I had a lot of challenges, or if there are any challenges. I don't look at the challenges I had as challenges, but it's more of opportunities to know better and to learn better. So the one stereotype or perception that is there being a young person was that because of how the government institution has been built over the years, it's only allowed certain people of certain ages to be able to thrive and own it. So when I was appointed and I walked in, everybody looked at a 29-year-old like, what is she gonna do? How is she gonna achieve this? Because these structures and systems were created for certain people. So you find that a lot of people shy away from trying to help you. a lot of people tend to step away from trying to teach you and guide you on how to go. However, for me, it has been very easy because I have a cabinet secretary who actually paved the way for me. A lot of times at the beginning, I remember when we're in meetings and maybe I would be ignored and most of the attention would go to him, he would actually stop and tell people that she deputizes me, so you have to tell her first, then she will be able to advise me. So it made it easier for me. It made me more confident because I ended up now commanding my space, commanding the respect and the power that is there. But the other challenge that I can think of is the perception of the young people outside. As much as young people are very vocal and talk about, oh, we want the government to include young people, when the young person is not them, then they tend to be very aggressive with you at times. They tend to be very hesitant with how capable you are. And so I had to now deal with that, the perception of people outside and trying to say, oh, she's just there because of so-and-so, or is she gonna do this, or she hasn't done much. But I've learned how to really block all that, and I managed to create a brand of my own, which is me being a state officer, a public servant, but still owning my space as a young person and as a change maker. Number one is attitude. A lot of, and you've even seen, like a lot of people, even in our groups, people will be like, oh, government is not for me, or, politics is not for me, or opinions are not for me, or this. So we have this attitude that it's not for us. Then when we look at the spaces that are there and the people who are occupying the spaces, then we still complain and say, but they don't include us. So I think we need to change our attitude, no matter how hard and how unattractive it is to be a public servant to young people. We need to embrace it and know that with the generation that is coming, it is us, the young people, who need to be in those spaces. Number two, it's the vacancies that are there. There are very few vacancies for people to actually join government, join public service. So that kind of limits the amount of young people from getting jobs and getting in. Number three, on top of my head, I think it is really the hesitation to take an interest. There's the attitude and there's the hesitation. You can have an attitude towards something, but then if your interest is also not there, so a lot of people, because of the pay not being sufficient enough, the millennials and Generation Z onwards don't see it worth it to be in such spaces because everybody wants to make a living, to earn good money, to have big cars, to have this. So when you really look at the pay grade for government or public service, you'll find that it's not what a young person would want. So I think that as well is a hindrance. And then lastly, I think it's just we don't want to take responsibility of our own future. Developing partners partner with government a lot. There are opportunities to consult, there are opportunities to be in boards and everything. But we have given that responsibility to the older generation. We don't want to take that responsibility and work hard and be in those spaces and challenge. A lot of times we're not challenging the people in the status quo. I think those are it. Yeah, it was on TV. And yeah, it was on TV. And at that time I was working at the county as a chief tourism officer, 3 months into it. Before that I was unemployed, typical young person. And I remember I was heading to the office, but I was in Mombasa, so I stopped by to buy some food, then go up. And then I got a phone call. So a lot of people knew me as Nadia Nadi. That was my alias name. But a friend called me and said, what is your full name? And I said, Nadia Ahmed Abdalla, why? And they said, oh, Uhuru, His Excellency Uhuru Kenyatta is announcing your name. Actually, you're the last person to be announced. And I said, no way, that can't happen. Like, why, how, someone like me? Then the clip was sent to me. He had taken a video screenshot of it. And he said my name. And I was like, first of all, I didn't even know what it was for. But then he said my name and I was like, okay. One thing led to another. In 2 days, my life changed. In 5 days, I moved to Nairobi. In 2 days in Nairobi, I started my job, and it was baptism by fire. Yeah. So I heard that, first of all, I did not know that FAIBA had a, let me be honest, had a mobile, how do you call it? Mobile connectivity. I didn't know that was provided. I always knew FAIBA for internet connectivity because that's what I use in Mombasa in our home. And then I got to find out about it. And I actually discovered that there's a SIM, is it a SIM-less? eSIM, an eSIM that is there. And honestly, I'm looking forward to trying it out and seeing how that connectivity goes about, because I think it's amazing that we can have another opportunity to have a different type of connection when it comes to our phone. Not that I'm saying that there's any problem with other connectivities. I'm just saying that I'm always open to trying out something new. Yeah. Do I allow this?
Yeah, you can allow notifications.
Okay.
GB.
Okay.
You can start with that.
Yeah. At your weekly data 8 GB, 300. Oh, wow. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yes, I do. I'm excited. I cook for fun, I dance for fun, and if my bank account agrees, I travel for fun. Yes. So 2 things, Bandana by Fireboy and Calligraph Jones album. Yes. Of dreams and whatever, because it's my book and I have to constantly remind myself of the journey that I'm going on. Guys are pretty confident. They are in my DMs quite a lot, but it's a balance between can I take you out for coffee to can you help me get a job to can you send me some M-Pesa.
Mandike baza udenge, still with